Hi, it's Eebie from Southern Twist Yarns. Today I'm going to be talking to you about provisional chain cast-on. I want to show you some of the uses for using a provisional cast-on. If you look at this scarf I did here, the beginning and the end are different. And one of the ways I could have made the beginning and the end the same was by using a provisional cast on, which is basically just a temporary way to hold your stitches so that you can come back and knit going the other direction. That would have solved my problem here. But one of the ways I also love to use provisional cast-ons is on a sweater that is neck down in the round, for instance. Here I used a provisional cast-on, and then I knitted my sweater starting with the pink yarn down. When I was finished with my sweater, I came back, I took out the provisional cast-on, and I picked up with the purple. And I was then able to bind off using the purple. This is just one of the great ways to use a provisional cast-on. The supplies that you will need to do your provisional cast-on are a crochet hook. I'm going to be using the Prim crochet hook. You're going to want your crochet hook to be the same size as your needle, or maybe even a size larger. The needles I'm using are the Knitter's Pride Ginger needles. You're also going to need, it's an option, a ring marker. You're going to need scrap yarn that you're going to be throwing away in the end, and then the yarn that you will be knitting your project with. In this case, I'm using Illimani's Amelie. So first of all, you're going to do a slip knot. And then you're going to grab your yarn, and basically all I'm going to do is make a chain with my crochet hook. I'm just going to pull it through and continue to make chains. And if I needed, I'm going to say 10 stitches, I wanted to start my project with 10 stitches, I would actually go ahead and chain at least 14. I actually, in truth, don't even count. I just make sure that I've done more than I need, and I'll show you why. I haven't even counted here because I'm just going to pick up a few. But when you look at your chain, you can see the top of the chain. They actually look like knit stitches. They're little hearts, and you can see them. They make a chain across. If you flip it over to the back, the hearts go away, and it's a little bit bumpy, and you can see these bumps on each side. I'm going to hold it sideways, and you'll actually be able to physically see the bumps on the back a lot better. Those bumps are what we're actually going to knit through with our knitting needle. So the way that I keep track of which end I'm going to unravel the crochet chain from, you can do two things. Some people just take their scissors. Well, first we'll pull it through that last stitch. Some people just take and put a knot in their yarn, and that tells them, okay, that's the end that I am going to come back to and unravel from. But you can also just put a locking ring marker in there as well. That'll make sure that you know this is the end that I'm going to come back to. Depending on your yarn, you might not see that little tiny knot, but this will remind you, aha, this is the end I'm going to unravel from. So now let's start with our yarn that we're going to be using in our needle. And again, the top of the crochet chain has those hearts on it. We're going to start on the back, and we're going to start at the end away from where we ended. So I'm going to start up here at my slip knot, and I'm going to go through that bump. Right? You can see those bumps. Or if I turn it sideways, you can actually physically see every one of those little bumps. Starting with my yarn, I'm going to pull it through, and there's my first stitch. If this twists, sometimes you have to twist it back around. But I can see there's that next bump. It's right here. And I'm just going to pull my yarn through it. Come on. If you split the yarn, is it a big deal? No. But I will tell you that if you split it, you'll have to cut that little piece out of out as you're going along. It's better if you can actually not split your yarn. So here's that bump. Pull it through. Off. Go in the next one. Pull it through. And I'm going to do one more. There's the bump. Going under the bump. And pull it through. So you can see now I've actually picked up 4 stitches. The goal, I could go all the way to the end, but to help you make sure that you know which end you're going to be ripping the chain out of, you always want to leave a few chains here that are not knitted. Like I said, this just helps you to start unraveling a lot more easily.